Hey, friend. Wow. Okay. We need to take a deep, deep breath here because this is my first episode back after a very long and unexpected break. And honestly, I wish I could tell you that it was all like glamorous glow up era, but it absolutely was not. It has been messy and super emotional and really kind of spiraling like a feral animal the majority of the time, as I do. And if you've been feeling heavy or alone or like you're not the mom or the person that you wish you could be, like you imagine you could be, or life is just really heavy right now. One, I want to tell you you're in the right place. But two, I also want you to know that you don't have to do this alone. And today we're going to talk about something that's really been haunting to, I believe, a lot of us. And it's this feeling that we're bad moms or people, or we're failing or messed up. And I don't mean like in that cute kind of like, LOL, I forgot Spirit Week. Oh my God kind of way, the hot mess express moms that think that it's adorable. I mean, the deep down pit in your stomach, gut wrench shame that really follows you around like a little rain cloud and it just won't go away. And because this is my first episode back, I'm also going to pull back the curtain on what's been going on with me, why I have taken so much time, why I'm shifting the direction a little bit more of this podcast and how I ended up doubting literally everything about myself these last few months. And if I'm really honest, the last few days, this one is going to be pretty vulnerable, but also hopeful. I want you to know that you're not alone in this. And I would say if you've ever felt like that, but I know a lot of us have in one way or another. And so I really want you to know that you are not unlovable or unworthy or broken. I want you to know that there are people here for you who get you and who understand. All right, let's get into it. Hiya, homie. Welcome to the Reclaimed Woman, the podcast that's part healing circle, part nervous system decoder, and part thank God it is not just me, mom chat. I'm Jessica, mom, cycle breaker, holistic family guide, recovering overthinker and people pleaser, and someone who has definitely felt like a bad mom more times than I would love to put on public record. Around here, we go way deeper than parenting tips. We talk about what's happening underneath the meltdowns and the chaos, yours and theirs. The overstimulation, the shame spirals, the childhood wounds that sneak into your parenting, the emotional load that makes you feel like you are drowning, and the parts of you that are trying so freaking hard to hold everything together without a village. This isn't the place for perfect moms. This is the place for real ones, human beings. For the women who are trying to break cycles, build a healthier foundation for her family, and actually reclaim herself in the process, even when it feels messy, confusing, and downright overwhelming and uncomfortable. If you've been carrying everything alone, questioning yourself, or quietly wondering if you're failing, you are not. You're overwhelmed and maybe even burnt out, and you are in the exact right place. So where do I even start? The last few months have been, I'm going to use a real technical term here, a lot. They've been a lot. I've been trying to build my business. I've been applying for jobs to supplement some of the income from the lost job that I had. And I honestly haven't even been getting interviews. So that's been really fun. I have been, of course, tending to my babies. And, somewhere in all of that, I've kind of hit a wall. And as much as I tried to be intentional and present, I just kept thinking like, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing? Why can't I figure this out? Why does everyone else seem to have support? And I'm over here just raw dogging everything, motherhood and business building and all of it, homeschooling, everything. It's been really hard. And I think it's a little bit harder. And I've talked about this before, like when you have the awareness to know when you're just throwing a pity party, but also knowing that there's also real backing to that. And so on top of that, like I had these thoughts of like, am I being, I don't know, like delusional or even wanting this? Am I just meant to be the person that stays small, has nothing? I mean, I say nothing, but like I know I have like an amazing family and I'm so grateful for that because that's all I ever wanted. But now that I've developed and grown up and I'm an adult, I'm like, I love my kids and I also want to be more than that. I want to be more than just mom. And even though my whole life I wanted to be mom, I never thought about the picture of what that looked like. I want to be mom and I want to be present with my kids and I want all the things, but I also want them to see me thriving and not just having an identity of a mom where I've given up myself in order to be a mom. And the kicker of all of these, the one that's really been hard for me to break through was the really sneaky belief that I'm just not good enough. And because of that, it consumed so much of everything. And that hasn't even been in the last few months. That's been almost my entire life. I take in all of this information and use it as a way to that I'm not enough. So I'm a bad mom because I am struggling. I'm a bad mom because I can't seem to balance my life. Or I'm a bad mom because I've chosen to homeschool and I struggle with making friends. And so my kids are going to struggle with making friends, which makes me a bad mom. Maybe I should do things differently. All of this has been based out of this fear that it's me. I'm the reason bad things will happen or whatever. And it was like reiterating like my emotional state being just proof that everything's falling apart and I'm a failure. I got super pessimistic and honestly I'm still struggling with that here and there. It comes and goes as thoughts do. I got afraid of absolutely everything. I shut down. I did start reading more, but I also realized that that was a flight response. So as much as I'm enjoying it, I'm trying to keep up with reading. Also, like because it's good for me, I also know that I could get carried away with it. And I just got really disconnected from myself and every decision, every part of my life, really. I really haven't even gone to church in a while. And there's a whole side story on that, but I have just been struggling. And I think a lot of moms get here to this place where you're like so overwhelmed and under supported that your brain just recycles every worst case scenario it can come up with. All that work that you've worked through just comes right back up. And I'm a firm believer that you never fully heal. So to me, like those things are always stored there. It's just whether you choose to access them or not. And so your brain serves you back up these thoughts because you're allowing yourself to sit with that. Right. And we all do at some point. I will not even lie and say, like, I wanted to be pessimistic sometimes. I wanted to just complain. And that's awful, but it's also very human. And honestly, it's like, it's really the entire reason I'm shifting this podcast again, because I've been trying to find the direction and how I want to help people and balance the help of healing moms while also giving tools for parenting, because that tends to be a big area where we feel like we're failing. I can't keep within that, like, I can't keep showing up and giving parenting tips when the root of the problem is so much deeper than that. But then I can't just talk about healing when so many moms are looking for tangible answers to how to show up in their marriage or how to show up in their family or how to parent or how to set boundaries. And it's one big ecosystem of change. And me being me and my ADHD brain and all the niche talk and this and that, like I wanted to just find something so minute and little, and none of it felt aligned because it's really so much bigger than that. And so I had to really sit with that. And I didn't realize I was sitting with it through these hard few months. For those months, I sat there thinking, like, okay, now I'm doing way better with my kids, but I'm still struggling. And I've been struggling for 2 years. To be fair, I'm still postpartum and still nursing and hormonal. But I was like, I know the things I should do and I'm struggling to access them. And I know why. I know it's nervous system stuff, but like, why am I so fried? And it finally hit me that I'm fried because I don't feel like I have support, or I don't feel like I mean, I have support, but I don't want to say support. I guess like community near me, because I have support. I have a couple friends. I have, my sister and my dad and my husband, and like, so there is support, there is emotional support, but at the same time, sometimes we just retreat and sit on our own in that. And so a big thing I was thinking is like, I need someone to help me regulate because I know all these things, but I was not taught these things. And I think my nervous system is so incredibly fried that I really need someone to help me co-regulate right now while I'm rebuilding those patterns. And I wasn't even in therapy for a few months because I lost my insurance because of the job and it was a whole thing. And then when I got my insurance, my therapist didn't cover they didn't take my insurance. So it's been a lot. And I didn't want to lose my therapist because I feel like she does a great job of helping me co-regulate or at least like process. And so I've been sitting with really heaviness and thinking I was like, okay, just skating by. And then it all hit me like a ton of bricks when the money ran out and I was really under the pressure cooker. And, there's a ton of stuff that goes into that. And now here we are, holiday time again. And that's stressful. It's stressful when you want to provide everything, whether it be emotionally, financially, like to pretend that finance isn't a part of it would be ignorant, right? It's a lot. It's a lot of change in a short amount of time. This year has been a very insanely hard year. But in all of that, it hit me that this is exactly what the podcast needs to be. It is so much bigger than here's a parenting script. It is so much bigger than here's the information. It is so much bigger than the right or wrong way to discipline or whatever. There's so much more within that. It's co-regulation. It's having the tools. It's like knowing the knowledge because you need all of that together to be able to access what you need to access, to be able to calm yourself, to be able to handle the hard things. And as much as people like to pretend that they can do things on their own, we can't. We can't. We are social beings and we need community. It's not just how to get your kids to listen, but more like, here's how to understand your nervous system. Here's why your brain is freaking out. Here's the emotional root of why you feel like a bad mom. Here's all the deep stuff that goes along with that. Because if you're already stressed the hell out or unhealed or not even seeing what's holding you back, you could read all the books, you could get all the tips. You're not going to be able to access it. And it's going to be incredibly frustrating. And then it's going to reiterate that pattern that you feel like you are a failure. You guys know I'm obsessed with cycle breaking and boundary setting and healing and all the things, obviously. Well, nothing throws my healing journey into a freaking dumpster fire faster than a sensory overload, which happens often to me now that I'm aging. You know the feeling when your kids are asking you like 17 different questions at once? The baby is crying or just being fussy, and the dog's licking themselves, and the wind's blowing outside, and that's just too much. And the buzzer on the dryer goes off at the same time that your oven is ready, and that beeps at you, and you're just like in a full blown sprint towards a full fledged meltdown. You just need 5 seconds of quiet to reset, really. I used to just cover my ears, and honestly, some days I just wanted to run away and hide. But what if you didn't have to choose between hearing your kids and protecting your peace? What if you could turn the world's volume down without completely checking out of the conversations that you're trying to have? This is why I am aggressively encouraging you to get your own set of loop earplugs. They're not foam or like a weird plastic. They're discreet and a comfortable tool for literally building a sound boundary. I use the Loop Engage to get rid of the chaotic background noise and just take the edge off. They make the world go from a 10 down to a manageable 4 or 5 so that you can actually connect with your family without screaming or even listening in on other conversations. Hello, ADHD. Loop earplugs are a non-negotiable step in building that safe and honest home. They are a tool for respecting your own sensory needs so that you can stop running on empty. You can go to the link in the show notes to get your own Loop earplugs. Get them today and give yourself the grace of quiet. This is a simple life hack that helps the healing stick. Go do it. Parenting is not just parenting. Oh my God. That is like the biggest epiphany. Parenting is not just parenting. It is your childhood coming back up. It is your nervous system, your beliefs, your traumas, your supports, your emotional bandwidth, and your entire freaking identity. And whether people want to say, like they say, like separate yourself. You're not just a mom. And that's 100% true. Being a mom is not your identity. Sure, but it is. It's ingrained and it's tangled in with your identity, and it's all become one big being that is you. And all of those are variations, and all of those play a part within your identity. So yeah, we're going to shift the podcast. We're going to go deeper. We're going to go holistic. We're going to talk about you and not just your kids. We're going to talk a little bit about me because, hey, that's community, right? We share everything. We're going to tend to the foundations. So The day-to-day stuff doesn't just freaking completely send you over the edge because you deserve that. I deserve that. We all deserve that. So, right about now, we probably need a big old breath because that was just kind of a stream of consciousness. But I want to talk about the actual theme of this episode and what we want to get into. Why do so many moms feel like they're bad moms? I'm going to tell you why. And I'm saying this so gently and so honestly, but it's because you've been trying to parent with no village, no regulation, no time for yourself, no person or people checking in on you, and maybe even a nervous system that's been in fight or flight since 2012 or the dawn of time. You feel like a bad mom because you are overwhelmed, not because you're inadequate, but because you have a lot on your plate. And I've said this time and time again. Some people have huge plates, some people have teeny plates, and that's okay. We all have our own plate, and we have to pay attention to what we can fit on our own plate. And we also don't think a lot about the mental loads that come with it. You're feeling like a bad mom because you're isolated, not because you're unlovable. You feel like a bad mom because you've internalized other people's expectations, society, what your parents think, what your friends think, what the neighbors think, the school might think, the church might think, all of these things. It's not because you're failing. You feel like you're a bad mom because your own emotional needs have not been met in so long that your brain just assumes it's got to be a you thing. It's got to be your fault, but it's not. It's not your fault. Sometimes the most loving and attuned and deeply, deeply caring moms are the ones who feel the shittiest because they're self-aware and they're self-aware enough to notice their own pain. If you didn't care, you wouldn't feel guilty. If you didn't care, you wouldn't worry about it. If you didn't care, you wouldn't be listening to this podcast right now. You feel like a bad mom because you are a good one. Only good moms even care about being a good one. I know because I didn't have a good one. She didn't care if she was a good one. Let me tell you this little story. Okay. Recently, my father talked to my mother and said, you could go try to reach out and apologize and, connect again and see if you guys can mend stuff. And my mother still believes that I have done her wrong, that I treated her so bad. I embarrassed her. I made her life a living hell. You're not that. You're not a bad mom. You're a good one. You care about if you're doing things right. You care about how your kids feel. You care about the delicate balance of maintaining a family that your kids can thrive in, find value and love and a true, true grounded home in. You're a caring mom. You're a cycle breaking one. And the story that your brain is spinning about being too much or not enough, it's an old conditioning. It's old trauma, old fear. It is not your truth. It's patterns that your brain has recognized maybe from your upbringing or things that have gone on with other people and communities that weren't fit for you, that were not your community. Your brain picked up on those things and now tries to tell you that it's because you're not good enough. And it's just not true. I'm going to be totally honest in a way that's uncomfortable, but I'm a firm believer in getting comfortable in the discomfort because that's where there's so much growth. It's just freaking hard. I have felt so lonely these past few months. And not only I need friends to get coffee with, because I definitely do. Not just that I want to have friends to take to the park, and play date, but also feeling lonely in the sense of people just don't understand how heavy this is. And there's also that thought of maybe they just don't care. Maybe they don't care how heavy it is and they don't care if I'm doing well. And that's a really, really heavy thought to have to carry around with you, that people just don't care about you. And that's an ongoing thought I've been trying to heal and shift my whole life. It stems from a lot of attachment issues, a lot of trauma, a lot of nervous system, a lot of pattern tracking, and it's reopened this wound and it's been really freaking hard. And I know some of you might feel that too. Maybe you have a partner, but you still feel alone. Maybe you have a huge family, but they don't understand. Maybe you've outgrown certain circles that you're in, certain friendships. Maybe life has just changed and your people haven't changed right alongside you. It feels like drowning quietly. And I think about that part of Titanic when she's like, I feel like I'm drowning. Or what did she say? How she's screaming for help and nobody looks up. It's like that. Being the only adult in the room while everything inside you is spinning and you have to keep it together. And what do we do when we feel like we're alone? We blame ourselves. We assume that we're the problem. We're right back to where we started. We're hard to love. We're too much. We're too needy. We're too emotional. We're too this, too that, blah, 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 blah. But listen to me. And I'm speaking this directly to you and to me because I need it sometimes too. And I need that reminder. Feeling alone does not mean that you are unlovable. It may just be a logistics issue, right? You just might not have your people around you. Feeling unsupported doesn't mean that something is wrong with you. Feeling scared doesn't mean that you're failing. It means you're freaking human. It means that you care. It means that you've been carrying more than a single person ever should. And once upon a time, we were able to share that struggle with other people. And our society is not really set up for that right now. You're not designed to do this life or this healing by yourself. If you've been doing it alone, no wonder you're freaking exhausted. No wonder most of us are freaking exhausted, trying to do everything on our own like it's a shameful thing to ask for help. So I want to get practical because I want you and I to leave this episode with something real that we can remember and hold on to and take with us, because sometimes it slips from our fingers and we need to bring it back. One, stop making your feelings mean something about your worth. You are allowed to have hard seasons. It does not make or break you as a person. It doesn't make you a bad mom. It doesn't make you too much or any of the things that you're telling yourself. It makes you a human freaking being. Period. Period. Number two, name what's actually going on. Not I'm failing, not your thoughts about the situation, but the actual feelings. I'm overwhelmed. Or maybe you bring out the actual circumstance. I'm undersupported or I'm isolated. I'm scared. I'm carrying too much alone. Truth reduces that shame that I don't even know. The world just really loves to just put out there, and not in a good way. I mean, we all have a little bit of shame, which like kind of guides us. And that's, a separate topic for a separate time. But like, we love to sit and stew and shame other people and ourselves. And it's just gross behavior we need to break out of. It's just another cycle we need to break. But being truthful helps get the needle moving every time. Every time. That's the start. Just start being truthful. Number three, regulate before you evaluate your circumstances, your feelings, your everything. Okay. You cannot judge yourself accurately while you're dysregulated. Your brain is in danger mode. It's like you can't plan a meal or you can't plan for the holidays while a bear is chasing you. Okay. And that's basically what it is, because then nothing feels true. Nothing feels possible. Your worth feels shaky. You have to get back to your elevated self and get back in your body where you're thinking clearly. And then take the time to really think through things. Do not isolate yourself in the hard parts. You don't need to have 30 friends. You need one safe person. I believe a lot of my loneliness just comes from my friends are far away. So I could talk to them, but I would love to be in the presence of them. And it's different, it's different when you can sit with a person versus being on the phone. And so that's one of my tougher things, but you don't need to have a bunch of friends. You just have to have those deep connections with the people that get you and care about you. You need one connection, one voice that's going to say, you're not crazy. I love you. It's just hard, and it's also heavy, and that's okay. And I still love you no matter what you're going through, right? I hope that this podcast can become one of those voices for you, because it's very necessary. And if you need to come back to this, come back to it and listen to it over and over again and hear that you are held and supported and loved just as you are. Let this season be a part of your story, not your entire identity. Let it be a part of you, not your whole life, your whole being. You're not meant to hide all of the hard stuff. You're not meant to soldier through everything silently despite what we've been told. And you sure as hell aren't meant to feel ashamed for being a freaking human being. This season of life and any hard season is not who you are. It's simply where you're at right now. And that's okay. It's okay. Anyways, so yeah, that's where I've been. That's where my heart is. That's the shift. Yesterday, or one day this week, Sean asked me why I wanted to do what I was doing. Because I was really in a place of like, I'm coming back to this podcast. I got plans. I actually shifted this whole episode because I was going to start on a different note. But we were talking about it and he was like, why do you want to do what you're doing? Because we were considering where we need to scale back or where I could be putting my time the most efficiently, right? Because it's like you don't want to pour into something that's not serving you, right? Or not bringing you joy or, whatever. And I was like, because I want to help other people. And I wish more people understood that. I wish I could get that point across that I'm here and I want people to feel loved and valued. And because I hated myself for so long and I don't want other people to feel alone in that. And I mean, that was one of those things where it was like both of us, it hit us like a ton of bricks. Like even though I know there's so much purpose for this, like it was just one of those things where it was like a raw, real moment of like, oh yeah, like really, this is why you're doing it. And so I shifted my whole first episode because I wanted to be real and raw and honest and remove the stigma of just sharing stuff because it's hard for other people. I can't tell you how many times my sister and I have talked to people about our history. And yes, it's dark and it's scary and it's horrid and whatever. But like, it makes people so uncomfortable that we feel like we can't say anything. It's part of our story. It's part of our background and what's made us who we are. And we have to be able to say those things. Yeah, we could add a trigger warning. We have to get better about that. But like, it's not something we should have to hide just to connect with people and mask to be around people, you know? And so that's, where my heart's been, where the shift is going to be. It's the whole new direction of the reclaimed woman because everything about building back family and being a good parent and saving children and saving families and healing our world, the entire ripple effect starts with one thing, and it's taking care of yourself. And it's not selfish to want to take care of yourself. You can't put your kids first if you're not taking care of you. In order to put your kids first, in order to be the mom who puts her kids above everything else, you could even look at it as I take care of myself because my kids come before everything else. And I have to take care of me in order for that to be a thing. I just want you to know I'm here with you in the messy, heavy, confusing, what the fuck is happening and why am I so alone and the why am I this and the am I even cut out for this? All of these hard fucking seasons. I want you to know I'm with you and you're not a bad mom. You've just been undersupported, overwhelmed, and doing more emotional labor than any one person can hold by themselves. So I'll say it again. You are undersupported. You're overwhelmed and you're doing more emotional labor than one person can hold by themselves. You are worthy, you're lovable, and you're not failing. You're healing, and you are a beautiful, beautiful human being, period. The fact that you care so much, you are a wonderful human. We're going to walk all of this together. So welcome back, friend, and welcome to the new era of this podcast, and welcome to the reclaimed woman. Alrighty, friend, that is it for today's episode. And if you needed this, same. Truly, if this episode hit home for you, share it with another mom who's in the trenches right now. We are building a community, one that many of us never had, and your voice helps so much more than you know. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on what's coming next. And if you feel like leaving a review, I won't say no. All right, babe, take a breath, drink some water, give yourself some grace, and I will catch you on the next episode. Keep reclaiming yourself and your family, one messy, magical step at a time.